I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Mm-hmm. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this.
In a media showdown that no one saw coming, rising political star Caroline Levit has taken on The View's Whoopi Goldberg, Behar, and Sunny Hostin in a battle of wits, words, and public opinion. What began as a fiery debate about political ideologies and wokeness has now escalated into a full-blown courtroom drama.
You know, or at least people of a certain age know. And it's like, wow, but look at what she did. It's all about books, all about history, all about reading. Remember reading and history and books?
Yeah.
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 We love them, but we'll keep bringing them back as often as we can.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
All right.
What'd she say?
These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up.
Now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Caroline Levit. Watch this.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
With the stakes higher than ever, the stage is set for a battle that could reshape the media industry forever. One woman fighting back against a powerful television empire. But how did we get here? And who else is involved in this explosive conflict?
There's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see who they're going to invite into this, because quite honestly, I like when we're held to standards. I don't always like the way they do it, but we have to have ourselves.
But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman?
Caroline Levit, Trump's 27-year-old press secretary, isn't your typical political figure. Unapologetically conservative, sharp, and fearless, she quickly became a target for the media elite. Her appointment came with its fair share of criticism, but it was on The View that things took a turn for the worse.
Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure.
They were going to give unqualified
God, how boring.
unqualified people
jobs. Not
the
so
Behind
tedious.
the Table podcast needs to apply for White House credentials. They'd love having Joy in that room.
So
I got a question.
So wait a second. So in other words, instead of Bob Woodward, they want Kim Kardashian? What? I don't get it.
You should be able to answer any question instantly, straight from the heart, on your fundamental basic principles. Maybe you need to fill in some of the specific detail at a later point, but you should be able to tell the truth on any single issue.
Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin, three of the most prominent voices on daytime television, went after her, questioning her ability, intelligence, and even her appearance. And it didn't stop there. The View hosts weren't just questioning her qualifications, they were making it personal.
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
The tension reached its peak when Joy Behar dismissed Caroline's political career, suggesting it was all about her looks. The audience was stunned, but the most shocking part? Whoopi Goldberg, long known for her snark and sharp commentary, joined in. She claimed that Caroline's position was the result of wokeness, implying that it had nothing to do with her.
It's her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
I'm saying, this is the first time that she's been she may be, but my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Today was the first press conference for Donald Trump's press secretary, Caroline Levit. And if you assume she was a pretty white lady with a noticeable cross necklace, you were right. And of course she was Trump's press secretary during the campaign, but that was all about trashing Joe Biden. Now she's in an elevated position representing the White House, and she's here to talk about what the administration is going to do moving forward.
When Joe Biden was in the Oval Office or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure.
Oh, shit! Didn't you see that coming, did you, old man, huh?
Capabilities. The insults didn't stop with her appearance. It quickly spiraled into accusations of tokenism and white privilege. But the women on The View didn't realize. This time, Caroline wasn't going to sit back and let the attacks slide. When Caroline filed her defamation...
There's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see who they're going to invite into this, because quite honestly, I like when we're held to standards. I don't always like the way they do it, but we have to have ourselves together. We can't just say stuff in spite of what they tell you. We can't just spout stuff. So I want that for everybody, and if they're going to guarantee that they're at the briefing, then I'll be happy.
Lawsuit, she wasn't just protecting her reputation. She was sending a message. Women in politics, no matter their background or beliefs, deserve respect. She named Whoopi, Joy, Sunny, and even ABC as defendants in her $800 million lawsuit. Legal experts were left speechless. This wasn't a case of a...
I think that their real problem in this election, one of the real problems among the many, is the misinformation and disinformation that was disseminated on social media by these influencers and by these podcasters. Why are they qualified to sit in front in the White House briefing room and tell America what is going on with the country? Traditionally, to become a White House correspondent or to be in that briefing room, you had to have a journalism degree. Yeah. You had to have qualifications. Yeah. So I guess the rise of mediocrity is here to stay.
Woman defending herself. This was a full-scale battle for fairness, equality, and media accountability. Her legal team was ready. Robert Goldstein, a veteran journalist and media consultant, had provided insider knowledge of how media manipulation worked, and Maya Turner's social media presence
destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas.
Sunny Hostin I think she went to Binghamton undergrad, and she went to Notre Dame Law School, which is a great law school. Her son right now is at Harvard. That son she wants us to think is sitting there oppressed, who she's got to fight on behalf of because America is so awful to him. They're educating him right now at Harvard University. And Jason, would you take a look at this? Because I'm going to guess, I haven't been to your house down in Tennessee, but I'm going to guess it doesn't look like this. This is Sunny Hostin's home in this shitty country that she can't stand, that doesn't treat Black people like Sunny well. She let People magazine feature her home. Look at this dump. This country sucks. She went to Notre Dame Law School. She makes millions on The View. Her son's at Harvard. I'm sure her daughter's at private school on her way to some Ivy League. This is where Sunny lives. And F off, America. I can't stand how you've kept us all in chains. That's her messaging.